everyone, welcome to the monthly masculine, feminine, unconditional love reading. I hope you had an incredible August. A lot going on, I feel. A lot of change. I feel like a lot of you will be able to say that a month ago was a different space. That sounds a bit ridiculous, but I think what I'm trying to say is that a lot of change happened and it feels like we're in a very different place from last month. Just before recording the reading, I was just thinking about what people call synchronicities and about how lots of my clients and lots of people experience what I would call messages from life, which is kind of how I see the tarot as well. For me, it doesn't really matter where the messages come from. The tarot is just cards with pictures and stories, you know? It's exactly the same as life. It's just images and pictures, you know, and stories and feelings, I suppose. It's things that we use, languages and pictures that we use to understand our own intuition, really. So life is always giving us messages. But I was thinking about maybe setting a bit of an intention. Firstly, I always just have the intention to give us whatever we need to know, which is the main intention. But then also, for the first time really, I had the idea to kind of maybe see if anything would come up around that for people. Because I know people find it interesting, and I find it interesting myself. Consistently just informed by my environment. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, look at that. Bottom of the deck. My favourite card, which isn't even a card. Exactly as I was just explaining, this card is an extra piece of artwork from the Centennial Rider-Waite deck that I use. And I used it because it made sense to me. And so this really represents a divine love, an unconditional love, a true love, a passionate love, a whole love, a love that's about freedom, togetherness and freedom. On the bottom of the deck, this is all of those things. And I'm really excited about this reading, and I hope you are too, and I thank you for being here. So I'm going to do the masculine on this side, feminine on this side. So masculine has Queen of Cups. I just want to point out though, I feel like for this reading there might be a lot of crossover. It feels like there's a lot of similarities. I just couldn't decide whether it was masculine or feminine, so it feels like they're kind of equal. They could be valid for both. So just take that into consideration. But I'm going to call this the masculine, and the first card we have is the Queen of Cups. Second card is the Nine of Pentacles. Interestingly, these are quite feminine cards. Oh, then the Knight of Cups, third card. Fourth card, Queen of Wands, but quite a lot of feminine cards there. Interesting, lots of court cards. First card for the feminine, King of Wands, another court card, masculine card. Second card, the Lovers. Third card for the feminine, the World. Fourth card, the Three of Wands. Crowning, energy the feminine brings, energy the masculine brings, and the root we'll have a look at in due course. Bottom of the deck, as I said, my Divine Love card. This is a message as well for anybody that resonates with the whole kind of like Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, whatever you want to call it, pairing. Because I just feel like, from a traditional sense, that's kind of in depiction there, but it's not necessarily attached to religion. It's just a story. It's a story. It's a love story. So I'll just put that there, and then I know this is a bit wonky, but I'm quite liking it wonky. But I'm going to move these down a bit so we can see those, especially those that watch my weekly Vimeos. Oh yeah, I do want to say about the weekly Vimeo this week. I'll put the link below. It's only 99 cents and it's a really good one. So if you're interested in supporting me in my love work, please do that if you haven't done so already. It's a really great reading, even if I do say so myself, though I tend to kind of get out of the way and they just kind of come through me. So do check that out if you're interested. Right, so, but what I was going to say is people that watch those weeklies, they know that I have a bit of fun with moving the cards around. So, an interesting spread, and I was really excited about this month. Yeah, firstly, I do want to talk about, again, it just feels like there's an incredible amount of balance here. It just feels like this is the overarching energy, and I mean, this is massive. For anybody in a kind of twin flame, soulmate, true love, what I call unconditional love, you know, when you, basically it's just, you love someone unconditionally, you can't do anything about it. You love them like you love your family. It doesn't go away. No matter what they do, it doesn't go away. But we don't necessarily have the context or the story to put that within. But for anybody that's experiencing those kind of feelings and connection to another, the general energies are very, very harmonious at the moment. So just be aware of that. But for anybody in a relationship, you know, this is all useful. First card we have for the masculine side, but it does, like I said, it feels like it's kind of valid for both. So read it with whatever resonates with you. But the first card I have for the masculine is the Queen of Cups. She is the feminine unconditional lover, which is kind of interesting. But it does feel like there's quite a lot of feminine energy on this masculine side. It's not in an emasculating way. It's not that he's not being masculine. It's that there's a softness. There's a real softness washing over this masculine energy this month. And because she's looking the other way, this Queen of Cups, I feel like he's able to provide that kind of soft, feminine, maybe even slightly maternal loving energy for himself. But it also does feel like the feminine is really kind of present and enmeshed and together with the masculine on this side. But the message I'm getting really is that the masculine maybe needs a bit of time for himself to really give himself that softer, more passive, it's a more passive energy. Doesn't mean it's any less powerful, but it's a more passive loving energy, and it feels like he's giving that gentle love to himself, like that gentle loving energy, like compassion basically. It feels like it's a compassion that he's giving to himself. But it also feels like, sorry, this is a bit complex, but it also feels like the feminine, he's receiving that love from the feminine too. But there does seem to be a little bit of not isolated, but it is looking away. It is kind of moving away. It seems like maybe that's around now. or the beginning of the month. It doesn't match up quite with the feminine over here because she's got the King of Wands, and he's come up a couple of times for the feminine, and it is about that kind of extrovert, playful, more fun, more quite passionate and quite direct, but you know, extrovert and more assertive in a fun, playful, passionate, creative way. And that energy is kind of directed at the masculine. So there is a bit of a disparity here, so just be aware of that. There's not the same on the same pagedness, but if you then, this week reading for the Vimeo reading, which feels like it's kind of in alignment with this time period, is all about understanding that we don't need, if we need somebody else to feel the way that we're feeling, we're going to get into trouble because it's kind of impossible. So it's like, I feel what you feel what you feel, and we meet together in the middle, you know. So we don't need the other person to be where we are. It's just we can be harmonious in our differences. And that really is the key to much of living in love. So it really feels like, yeah, especially around this time now, of which I'm recording this on the 1st of September, that maybe we're not quite on the same page. That doesn't mean we have to be apart. That doesn't mean anything. It just means that we're not, we can be harmonious in our differences. Because it feels like there's a passive, inward, compassionate energy on the masculine side, and there's a kind of more outgoing, assertive, fiery energy on the feminine side. I love that this energy for the feminine's absolutely rocking it. And I just love that, because there's been a little bit of, generally, a little bit more hardship, a little bit, more kind of like heavier emotion for the feminine, and I kept getting that it was kind of like her doing it, and it's freed, it's gone, it really feels very free and very gone. And I'm hoping that anybody that associates with that feminine energy is feeling that. The second card for the masculine is the Nine of Pentacles. She comes up quite often for the feminine, actually, for me at the moment in my private readings and in the Vimeo stuff. It's really about coming into wholeness and contentedness. But for the masculine, it's really interesting that this energy is over here, because it's that for a while there was this drive, and he does have this drive to be successful. Even just the pure, from what I feel to be like the pure masculine energy, is he does want to provide. It is more of an outgoing energy. It's more of a doing energy. Like I said, it doesn't matter that it's not any less powerful, and we need both. We need to receive, there needs to be somebody to give, and there needs to be somebody to receive. But it is more of a kind of generally an outgoing kind of energy, and there is this desire in him to provide, to make money as well. This Pentacles is about money and finance. But when this Nine of Pentacles shows up, she's saying, or she's representing what I call contentedness, which is kind of what we're all striving for. It's that there are no worries. We don't need to do anything. It's all here. It really does represent ease and abundance, and the kind of abundance that can't be lost. It's flowing in and flowing out, but there's always an equal amount, you see. And it feels like he feels solid and secure and safe without needing to prove to himself that he is. But the interesting thing is the feminine had this first. The feminine had to come into this energy first. And that's what I'm perceiving, it came from the feminine, then the masculine now is able to anchor that into his experience too. And then the feminine Lovers card. It's like, it really feels like it's quite similar to the Two of Cups. In the Vimeo, which does feel very relevant to a lot of you watching this. Because it seems it's very in alignment with this energy. But because basically in this position, there's the Two of Cups, and it feels very the similar energy as I feel it. And it really is about what I just discussed. It's like, I am who I am, and I am whole. And I am naked here. I'm naked. Look, I'm showing you everything. And we're showing each other everything here. But we're not the same, blatantly. But we work well together. Let's talk about the lovers. Let's talk about making love together. These two things work. It doesn't matter if you're masculine, it doesn't matter if you're, heterosexual or whatever. It's not about that. It's about just telling the story and showing how in our differences in this depiction, we work together. We're not the same. It's just telling that story. We are not the same, but we work together. Nobody is the same physically, even if it's two women, two men, whatever. None of us are the same, but we work together. We do, in this pairing. And it really feels like the feminine has let go of the idea that she needs the masculine to be the same as her, because that is a bit of a ridiculous notion. To feel what she feels, to think what she thinks, to have the same perspective on this connection. The interesting thing is, you look at the symmetricality of it. There is a symmetricality, there is a mirror here, but there's also differences. Oh, sorry, I've been holding it too high up. There is a symmetricality here, but there are differences. And it really is that, that we're different, but we're the same, but we're different. And I love this little trio here. This is kind of like awesomeness in terms of cards for me. I knew this was going to be a good one. I was really excited. So, yes. Another message again, like share this, get this out. This is good stuff. That's a message. It's not me saying that, even though I do feel that way too. Yes, so that Lovers card, Major Arcana, big energy. I hope that anyone that's really associating with that with that feminine energy is really on that, feeling that joy and that freedom. I'm going to go into this World card now again for the feminine. This is just complete freedom, completion, joy, the nakedness again. So this is so great. It's like we meet each other in our love will strip you bare. It will show you who you are. It will strip you bare and stand you in front of a mirror. And you don't, and it will show you all your lumps and bumps. And that's so that you can be aware of them and, just kind of, and have choice. So you can either be like naked and standing in front of the mirror and look at all your lumps and bumps and go, I love me, I love these lumps and bumps. Or you can take action to do something about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are perfect and whole always. But whatever you need to do to realize that. But this mirror and this love, this helps us to realize our wholeness, And like I said, it doesn't matter how we realize it. We can realize it in the moment like that. Or we can take months or years to hone to get to this place where we feel good. And we can really understand our wholeness, but that it's showing up, it's like the feminine doesn't want anything more than this. This is all the feminine desires. Trust me. These three cards, I'm going to move that down a bit. This is everything. So pat yourself on the back for achieving that, because it's here, and it will be for this month. Interesting for anybody interested in astrology. We're moving into a Mercury retrograde period, but I want to give you a message here. It's not relevant to you if you don't want it to be. I feel like this energy is like overcoming. There's this ability to kind of like, the way we deal with Mercury retrograde is to not fight against it. If we don't fight against it, we won't even notice it. If you just kind of go with it, we come to this point where we don't even notice it. But the message I'm getting is that don't kind of like preempt or project, if that's what you're into, if you notice things, anything onto this, because I don't feel like it's going to necessarily have a big impact if we don't want it to. Just something that came through there. So the third card we have for the Knight of Cups, for the masculine is the Knight of Cups, and he matches up nicely with this World card. Of course he does. The Knight of Cups, the knights want to go out into the world. That's what they do. They go out into the world to do things. The Knight of Cups goes out into the world to give love, and he's offering love. And he's definitely offering love to the feminine here with that world. The masculine has always seen the feminine in her wholeness. Always. And if she can't see herself in her wholeness, he doesn't really want to have much to do with her. That's his role, and vice versa. So this night, there's a huge offer of love this month towards the feminine when she embodies herself in her wholeness. When she sees herself in her wholeness, nothing can stop the masculine from galloping in with his cup of love. So that's just a kind of strong message there. And the masculine, you know, he feels like he just feels this, it's like this energy, like he wants to take it out there. This love that he's been kind of cultivating for himself up here, and this true contentedness and confidence, he's then again on the same page as the feminine, feeling this freedom to be who he is. And he is incredibly loving, incredibly generous, incredibly giving in his natural state. He is not unemotional at all. In so many ways, and it feels, especially in this spread, it's like all the emotions on the masculine side here. This, you know, it feels like, you know, he is sensitive. So for this month of September, there's the sensitivity here, but there's a power in that. There's a power in this water energy, these cups, this emotion. It's about holding on to it and taking it out and knowing where we want to put it and what we want to do with it. It's great here. Then drawn to this Queen of Wands here, she hooks up with the King of Wands. Whenever I get two cards of the same suit in partnership, the King and the Queen. But look how they're on kind of opposite sides. Again, as I said, even before I got the cards out, I said I feel like there's a kind of like masculine, feminine kind of balance, 50-50. So it feels like it's equal for both. But yes, this feminine Queen of Wands energy with this King of Wands. But interestingly, as she turns up here, it might feel like maybe there isn't much opportunity for being on the same page until towards the end of the month. So it might feel like the feminine's on like this, let's go get it, let's get out there, you know, let's do this earlier, and then the masculine comes into it a bit later. But it does feel like there's a bond here. Doesn't mean it has to be that way, but it does feel like maybe because there's this inward thing going on until here, you see, on this masculine side. But I feel like the feminine may have given up by that time. not given up, but more like she's looking away in the other direction, and she may miss the communication. This Three of Wands is all about waiting for communication to come in, waiting for something to come in, and it feels like the feminine may miss the masculine joining her, because she's looking in the other direction. So just be a bit aware of that. You can't miss it anyway. You might just not notice if you're looking the other way. But I do just feel more that energy is kind of saying, oh, I feel like I'm waiting, you know, what's going on here? If she's not experiencing a harmonious meeting. But there's a huge amount of harmony here, like it's kind of done. And I'm noticing that in my private readings, that there's a lot. I'm getting emails, and I want to thank everybody. You know, like I've had engagements and so many things. And emails that I've been getting this week from clients saying, you know, just updating you a little bit too good to be true. For anybody that's been experiencing some kind of separation from their love in any form, it is true that the scariest thing in life is us actually having what we want. Because I do notice that I have clients come back to me sometimes, especially when it shifts very fast, and it can shift very fast sometimes when you're working with me. They're not quite sure what to do. Oh no, it seems like it's all too good to be true. Sometimes this does feel like it's too good to be true. That's okay, just be in it's too good to be true. But I think then people, when it starts happening, then they become aware of how maybe they were pushing it away before. So that's kind of interesting. Right, so crowning is the Ace of Cups. I mean, I knew this was going to be a good one, but another one of my absolute favourite cards. Crowning there, the Ace of Cups. It's just complete, unconditional love. That's what it represents for me. It's flowing through us all the time. We are in love. We are a vessel for it. It just flows and flows and flows and flows and flows. And we are supported by life, by God, by source, whatever you want to call it, you know, in this love. And again, I'm drawn, there's an M on here. Anyone in the kind of, you know, it's that kind of Magdalene energy, which is Divine Feminine Magdalene kind of energy, which is not just about that. It goes, you know, it's a lineage that's attached to a lot of stories, great stories of love. It's basically the Divine Feminine story that's manifested in so many different characters over a long period of time. But just drawn to that there. But really, it's for both. It's crowning. It's both. It's both are experiencing this. And what I really understand is that both are experiencing this wholeness. It's about wholeness in our apartedness. And there's a peace to it. There's a real peace and a flow and a harmony to that energy. And it feels like it's just kind of like flowing through everything. Yeah. Feminine. Knight of Wands. Wow. So she's feeling a bit passionate. That's what the Knight of Wands is about. That Knight of Wands is about feeling passion, taking that passion out towards the masculine. So she's really feeling, I mean, she's got the Lovers here. I mean, look at that. This is just kind of, now we've got this 4 going on. So it's like complete divine love. This is an old energy, like I was talking about. This is an ancestral, old, awesome. It's this thread that has never lost, never moved, never been lost from our experience. of this true love. This, because it's extremely powerful when we come together in this way. We can see each other in our differences and love each other. It really is about, it's about everybody loving everyone, and it's about, essentially, it's about world peace. And that energy has never left our experience. But that's what that kind of embodies for me. And this, of course, but there's also a sexual energy to this. There's the snake, there's the old story, the Genesis story, there's the snake in the tree here, etc., etc. It is about sex, it is. So there's this kind of energy, and then it kind of is brought out in this Knight of Wands, like, wow, I want to go. I really want to go towards this. I want to take this creative, powerful energy out towards that masculine, and I can really feel it. So, and it's great though, it's backed up by this. When that sexual energy is backed up by this stuff, there's nothing it can't do. There's nothing she can't achieve, the feminine, with this going on. And the masculine's here, he's safe, he's sturdy, he's secure here, he's ready. Energy he brings in is temperance, which was, I was feeling that energy even in the Ace of Cups card, that flow, that healing, balance. There's just a huge amount of balance. Like, I could just kind of just stop and be in that temperance energy. Just the flow of the two. If that Ace of Cups is how I described it, this is the two Aces of Cups working together, flowing between one another. It's a little bit more complex than just that. It's about maintaining that and maintaining this. This is when it gets fun. But the masculine's really got it down. But there could be a little bit of frustration here on the feminine side, because this may not be the energy that she's expecting if she's coming at him with this forceful, creative, passionate energy. This is way more laid back. But they do work together, you see. It doesn't mean they can't work together. They're not harmonious. But we may have to just own ourselves where we are and not need what we perceive, not need it to be so receptive. But there is a receptivity to this. This energy is quite free-flowing. It can kind of handle anything. But yeah, I do feel like the feminine, the message for the feminine is, don't feel like you're being knocked back, because you're not. It's just there's a kind of flowing, peaceful thing going on over here. That's kind of unshakable in a lovely way. Feels like the masculine's finding some peace as well, because he's been through quite a lot of turmoil, and like I said, there's a lot of feminine energy over here, and it is that kind of just compassion and peace for himself, like he's flowing that for himself. The root, we have justice. And I feel like this is coming to justice, because I'm really feeling like this kind of like old, this energy is old, it's always existed, and then we came into this place in society where we weren't quite in alignment with creating relationships and stories and context for it to live within. And I feel like that justice card is, we're coming into justice now. We are coming into balance, and it is coming into justice. This journey towards creating a society whereby we can really love one another freely, and ourselves freely. We're always going to judge. We're always going to have preferences in life. But it's about allowing those judgments and those preferences and those differences of perspective without making it wrong, making another wrong, without either making ourselves wrong or making them wrong. That's all problems that arise in relationship essentially comes from the belief that there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong, therefore it's going to be with you or it's going to be with me. And it's about letting there be differences and letting us have judgments even, but not having the perception that anything's wrong here, and therefore we just take blame out, and then love can just blossom, even in our differences. And this feels like that's what that's about. It's coming to that justice. Sometimes that can be a really hard lesson. But it does feel like the world is coming into some kind of harmony and completion, and harmony, and justice. It may seem like, if we look at the political environment, or we look at the environment, even kind of from a biological perspective, we can look at the earth, etc. We could maybe have the perspective that it's not all working out well, but it is. Sometimes we need to highlight the things we don't want to clarify the things that we do want. So if you feel like there are things going on that you don't like, decide to live in a world and create a world that is what you want. But essentially, once we are able to be happy in our own world, we do become intuitive. We do learn how to look after ourselves. We learn how to look after others, and we learn how to look after the world, the earth. It all starts with you. Everything starts with you. So don't go out into the world trying to change things, thinking that you're doing some kind of good, because when you perceive something wrong, because you really do have to come into wholeness in yourself and let go of the idea of needing to change things because they're wrong, to actually then have an impact. Create your world that feels good to you in your entirety, in your wholeness, and then expand that out into your environment. Essentially, it's taking the light out into the world, not essentially kind of going to the where you don't want to be, like going into the dark and telling it that it's wrong. What's the point of that? Just be the light. Okay. Sorry, that felt a bit slightly ranty, but it just came through. I'm going to pull an outcome card. Wheel of Fortune. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm loving all these cards. The Wheel of Fortune is about destiny for me. And surrendering to our destiny. And the message is there's nothing for us to do, really. Ever. Other than be in our own life. What do we need to do in life? Show up, basically. Just show up in your life. Most of the problems arise from us not wanting to be present where we are. Like I said, making those judgments. This is wrong, you are wrong. This politician's wrong. This world is wrong. This house is wrong, I don't know. This room is wrong. And we're not really showing up in our lives because we're kind of we're deciding that we don't want to be in them. So surrendering to our destiny is basically surrendering to what is. When we can be where we are, then we become powerful. If we're kind of looking in the other direction, trying to make other people responsible, we miss our opportunity to experience our destiny playing out in the most beautiful way, because it does and it will. This is a collective thing and an individual thing. We have to trust our destiny. we have to let the characters play their role in our lives. The big characters, the big political characters, the big world characters, the big entertainment characters, the big characters in our lives, the masculine or the feminine, are what we, our counterparts in life, the people that we love unconditionally, that drive us crazy. We have to just let those characters play their role. And all we need to do is turn up and be who we are and trust life to guide us. Okay, I'm going to pull my monthly roomie card. I hope you've been enjoying the weekly roomies. I have. I'm very, very connected to this roomie energy at the moment. It just seems to kind of be everything to me. So, and it seems to resonate with quite a lot of people too. So, yeah. And thanks to Alana Fairchild for this deck, because it just seems to be the one that I want to use. I do use some other decks in my personal readings. These are pretty long descriptions as well. But anyway, and a thank you for all your support and for watching and everything. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting one. Number 43, Hand of Fatima. I'm just going to put that down there. Okay, 43. So just the usual, chill out, take a rest, close your eyes if you want to. Just let this message flow through. I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms. My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity I am, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are, me, alive, radiant with love. You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held, and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers, and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. You can use the simple sacred honoring ritual to do so if you need guidance on how to pray to her, but any words from your heart spoken in authenticity will suffice, no matter how simple or ornate they may be. She responds to the feeling behind the words, and she responds instantly, beyond time and space. In fact, she has responded even now, perhaps even before you knew she was needed. This oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now, in your own consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. You are also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's guidance and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your life. This is a way to honour her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel, and that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your heart. This oracle also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. You do not have to become obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honour him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself in the world. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful. Sometimes it can be hesitant too, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. There is a story that the angels sang music to lure the spirit into the body, but used to its freedom, it was reluctant to experience itself in what looked like rather confining matter. The spirit did not know that Fatima would be initiating the spirit into her mysteries through the body. She was going to be sharing the sensuality of life, the sacredness of love, the deep mystery of life, death and rebirth, and the wonders of nature. She was going to show the divine could live not only in light, but also in flesh. Fatima holds the wildness of divine feminine wisdom and the sanctity of life. She has great gifts of ecstatic presence, only able to be experienced through the spirit living in the body. She will share this if you allow her to guide you. Once the spirit recognizes this, even just gets a whiff of Fatima's glorious fragrance, the enthusiasm for life ignites and the wonders of the world experienced through the body become a way to revere the great beloved and turn all of life into the temple of love. This oracle also comes with guidance. Giving your body rest and healing is most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy headedness to tiredness and aches and pains, as well as shifts in body temperature that seem unbalanced, and these are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other, rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. This oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There is no exception to this rule. There is nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing ever. Ask, trust, and receive. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Fatima, who loves me unconditionally, bless me with your hand of protection and your radiant grace. May I love my body and live my divinity in totality. My spirit is my body is my spirit. My spirit is my body is my spirit. My spirit is my body is my spirit. So there we go. A big message there about the body being the vessel for spirit to know itself in this form. And there's a big message in there for me that spirituality is you. It's humanity. Anything humanity does is spiritual. For if the body is a vessel for spirit, then anything that the body does, anything that we do, is spirit. Has to be. So let it be. This month I would like to ask for your questions in terms of twin flame, soulmate, unconditional love, divine love relationships. And because I would like to create something to answer those questions within. Probably a book. And I know that people have lots of questions, but I would like to devote that time to it. So if you would like to make a donation of any amount, I will put that link in the description. And it really doesn't matter what it is. But then I want to give everybody that makes a donation, I'm going to choose somebody for a free reading. So it'll be, it'll just be a draw for a free reading, which I've done in the past. And when you make your donation, there's a box to write in notes. And I want you to write in there your question about twin flame, I know a lot of people that kind of resonate with the twin flame story. There are a lot of questions and I would like to answer them. So I'm just giving you the opportunity to do that. When you do donate it'll be via PayPal, make sure you click the friends and family or whatever, that it's not a product. Because I get charged for that. Some of the money goes to PayPal basically. And as it's not really a product or service and it's a donation, just remember to tick that. But yeah, for those two things, so I want to give everybody an opportunity to maybe get a reading and kind of open that out to more people, and support me in writing a book, I think, that will answer all of your I would like to answer all of your questions. So if you would like to do that, please feel free. I'll put the link below. If you would like to watch the weekly Vimeo, I'll put the link below. This week it's only 99 cents. If you wouldn't like to do those things, that's cool. I appreciate you watching and being here regardless, and I love you all. Have a great September. I don't know what's going to happen, ironically, over the next month. It feels like there's a lot of great things happening, so I'm excited about that. And take good care. If you're interested in a personal reading, I'll have that link below too. However I can be of service, let me know. Lots of love. See you all soon.